My family planned an entire week-long holiday vacation without mentioning it to me. Once, and I found out when my cousin posted a group photo and tagged the location of a resort I had never heard of. My cousin Bridget has always been the one who posts everything. Every meal, every sunset, every moment that could possibly be turned into content. I used to tease her about it at family gatherings. I stopped finding it funny on the Tuesday after Christmas when her post popped up on my feed at 11:43 at night while I was eating leftover rice alone in my apartment. The photo was of 12 people: my Aunt Donna, my Uncle Pete, my mother, my brother Caleb, my grandmother, cousins, spouses, kids I had watched grow from infants into actual human beings with opinions and shoe sizes. All of them standing in front of a resort I had never heard of, somewhere warm enough that my mother was wearing a sundress. All of them squinting into the light with the particular kind of relaxed happiness that only comes from the third day of a real vacation. Bridget had tagged the location. She had tagged every single person in that photo. She had not tagged me because I was not there. I sat with my phone in my hand for a long time. I kept scrolling up and down the caption like maybe there was a sentence I had missed, some explanation that would make this make sense. There wasn't, just a string of sun emojis and the words, "Grateful for this family." I put my phone face down on the counter, then I picked it back up, then I put it down again. I want to be honest about something. My family is not a cruel family. That's actually what made it harder. If they were cold people who had always kept me at arm's length, this would have hurt differently. I could have filed it under a pattern I already understood, but these were the same people who showed up to my college graduation in matching shirts, the same people who called me every year on my birthday before I even woke up. My mother is the woman who once drove 4 hours in a snowstorm because I told her I wasn't feeling well, which meant there was no clean explanation, just a quiet, bewildering exclusion that nobody had apparently thought was worth addressing. I called Caleb the next morning. He picked up on the second ring, cheerful, slightly sunburned from the sound of his voice. "Hey," I said. "I saw the photos." There was a pause that lasted exactly long enough to tell me everything. "We thought you'd be busy," he said, "with work." I wasn't busy with work. I had taken that entire week off. I had told my mother that 2 months ago at Thanksgiving dinner while she was passing the rolls. She had nodded. She had said, "That's nice, honey." I didn't say any of that to Caleb. I said I had to go, and I hung up, and I sat in my kitchen, and I thought about all the group chats I wasn't in, all the planning calls that had happened without my number being dialed, all the moments someone in that family had to consciously decide not to include me, and then just kept moving forward with their day. Nobody did it out of hatred. That's the thing that kept circling back. Nobody sat in a room and said, "Let's leave him out." It was quieter than that. It was the particular cruelty of being the person nobody thinks to add. I did not confront anyone. I did not post anything. I did not make it a thing. What I did was make a decision, slowly and without drama, somewhere in the space between that phone call and the new year. I decided I was going to stop making myself smaller so that other people wouldn't have to think about me. I had spent years being low maintenance, easy, the one who never needed anything. I had confused not being a burden with being loved. They are not the same thing. I booked a solo trip for February, a place I had always wanted to go. I told nobody in my family, not out of spite, just because I finally understood something. Some people will only notice your absence after you stop being there. I posted no photos, I tagged no one, and it was the best trip of my life.